Hey guys, it's Alex from 7th Hour Films, back again with Doctor Who. Last time on Doctor Who, we had Blink, a spooky, scary episode where we followed the character Sally Sparrow as she went through a spooky place with spooky weeping angels and spooky stuff. And yeah. Also, last time on Torchwood, we had End of Days. The reason I bring this up is because at the end, the TARDIS showed up and took Captain Jack away. So I can only assume that Captain Jack is going to be in this episode, which, yay, I like Captain Jack. Yeah, that's basically that. This is where I say no spoilers in the comments whatsoever. Let's just stick to this episode and previous episodes of both Doctor Who and Torchwood that I have reacted to. Also, as another note, next week you guys are getting 2 Doctor Who episodes for the price of 1. Well, you're getting 2 in 1 week, basically. Because next week I will not be doing a Torchwood reaction, so instead, to fill up the time, I am going to be doing 2 Doctor Who reactions. So I'm going to be doing episode 12 on Monday and episode 13, the Series 3 finale, on Wednesday. Whew, that's a bit of a mouthful, and I'm a little winded. Just went outside and ran the dog around. And it's incredibly warm in here, but I can't turn on a fan or anything, so yeah. So, let's get into this episode of Doctor Who. So, yeah, here we go. Yep. They went to Cardiff.
On a rift in time.
Hey!
Wait a minute. It accelerated. To the future, you
1
1 million.
million?
5 billion.
5 billion? Uh-oh.
50 trillion, what?
They're going way too far in the future.
Oh my, what happens then? We're going to the end of the universe.
Oh. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's like Bill and Ted. And John Barrowman, he's actually in the credits. Oh, that's cool, man.
Oh my god!
Oh, there's Jack.
He's dead.
You just gotta give him a minute.
Breathe deep, I've got you. Captain Jack Harkness. And who are you? Have you had work done? You can talk. Oh,
Yeah.
yes, the face. Regeneration.
It said Rose Tyler.
Oh no, sorry. She's alive. You're kidding. Parallel world. Safe and sound. And Mickey and Amala.
Oh, yes!
Yeah. They're all alive, but you can never see them again.
Good old Rose.
Poor Martha.
I thought 21st century
Interesting.
the best place to find the doctor, except I got it a little wrong. Arrived in 1869. This thing burned out, so it was useless.
Oh.
Is that what happens though? Seriously?
Yeah.
You just get bored of us one day and disappear?
Not if you're blonde.
Oh, she was blonde! Oh, what surprise!
You two, we're at the end of the universe. Right?
Yeah.
This isn't just night. All the stars have burned out and faded away.
Wow.
Into nothing.
Every star is
Let's
gone.
have an atmospheric show.
Life will find a way.
Well, he's not doing too bad.
Life, finds a way. Freaking the heat death of the universe is happening. And they're hunting. Yeah, you don't get this kind of crap on Torchwood. Yeah. Just, alright, yeah, their teeth are nice, just go.
You say he's off everything.
Yeah.
A scientist! Oh, my word.
Yeah, he is a scientist.
Blue box, you said.
Big, tall.
Yeah. Says police box.
We're driving out for the last water collection. I'll see what I can do.
Thank you.
It's surprisingly lightweight. Scarecrows can pick it up.
Sorry, but how old are you?
Huh.
End of the universe, and here you are. Indomitable, that's the word.
Yeah.
Indomitable.
That's impressive that humans could last this long.
Captain Jack Harkness, and who are you?
Stop it. Give us a hand with it.
No flirting, Jack. Jeez, I'm losing it, Jack. No flirting.
Oh, crap.
Welcome, Doc.
This is
You got a man in disguise.
Elevator. Captain Jack Harkness.
Stop it.
Say hello to anyone?
Not for ten.
Oh, I love that.
Later, Blue.
You've got a hand. A hand
Is that-
in a jar. A hand in jar in your bag.
Oh.
That's my hat.
I said I had a doctor detector.
Son, is this a tradition amongst your people?
I lost my hand Christmas Day. It's all fine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What, you grew another hand?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's part of the regeneration. He grew another hand.
Might not.
All this time and you're still full of surprises. Son,
That's
you're
the
not
doctor.
unusual.
Not even Rose could figure him out completely.
We call it the future of surviving beyond the collapse of reality itself.
Huh. Interesting.
Oh, yes.
Well, you got his curiosity. What is wrong with him?
You do that. Oh, we'll be chatting away. I'm brilliant.
Okay, so he still got it to work. I like that. Oh, this is nice. We're just leaving. Forget this planet. Let's go to another.
Professor, tell the doctor we found his blue box.
Yay. Does he recognize the TARDIS?
What happened if you didn't? Son, that would be rude, though.
It's just how she talks.
What, that's sorry.
Oh, okay.
He's inside.
Must be radioactive.
Locked. Captain.
You friggin'... What are you trying to do here, man? Just screwing with everything? Because you're a dick? He'll be alright. Don't you worry about him. Oh! He just got Thanos.
It strikes me, Professor, you've got a room which no man can enter without dying. Is that correct?
Yes.
Ha!
Well,
Guess who can't die?
I think I've got just the man. Was someone kissing me?
Oh my gosh. Oh, I love the two of them running with their friggin' trench coats on. They look friggin' awesome.
I'm going in. Well, by the looks of it, I'd say the step radiation doesn't affect clothing, only flesh. Well, I look good though. Just looking at you, Jack, because you're wrong. Thanks. You are.
Huh.
I can't help it. I'm a Time Lord's instinct. It's in my guts.
Oh.
You're a fixed point in time and space. You're a fact.
Huh.
That's never meant to happen. If a Time Lord did that, he'd become a god, a vengeful god.
Yeah.
But she was human.
I think
Hey, Rose.
She's not just living on a parallel world, she's trapped there.
Yeah. She ain't coming back.
The walls have closed.
I could go meet myself.
Well, the only man you're ever going to be happy with.
Yeah.
This new regeneration. It's kind of cheeky.
Even this thing never worked. Martha, this watch is me. I'm going to become human.
The watch?
But, stuck. It's old.
Wait, is he...
Meant to be.
He's not Timothy, but is he... Is he a Time Lord?
Does it matter?
And it's the same.
Right.
Zombie.
That's...
That means you could be a Time Lord. You might not be the last one.
Jack, keep it up!
That's brilliant, isn't it?
Can we figure this out later?
Fantastic, yeah. Open the light and summon me and receive my majesty.
Your Majesty? What?
Lana, think what the face of Bo said.
Huh.
His dying words.
You're not alone. Well, they're gone. He's gonna let them in?
You must stop.
What kind of Time Lord is this? sister? What the heck? Not where I thought we were going with this.
Utopia.
He's not sending them to Utopia? What is happening? Ah, crap, and he can get in the TARDIS. Ah, dang it, there's a second lock. Can that work on the TARDIS?
Master. Reborn.
Whoa, there's more colors! Whoa, Eccleston didn't have that many colors. Well, and he got up just like that.
Why don't we stop and have a nice little chat while I tell you all my plans and you can work out a way to stop me? I don't think.
Wait a second. Ooh! Doctor ain't letting him leave. It's like, screw you, this is my TARDIS.
End of the universe. Have fun. Bye-bye.
We can grab on like Jack did. Crap, he's gone. Oh! Crap. Damn it. God. Is that Harold Saxon? Oh my gosh. Well, for once, it's not the Daleks. So that's something. These shows, man. These shows and their plot twists. That's... yeah. I'm so happy I decided to watch another video today, or another episode. I was kind of pushing my time for recording, because I recorded Torchwood and I barely had enough time to do this, so yeah. So let's talk about this episode, because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 notes, which happen to coincide with the fact that this is episode 11. That's interesting. So, yeah. First off, I wrote down end, as in the end of the universe. Interesting that, because we've gone pretty far in the future. You know, we went to, the year 200,000 and 200,100, where we left Jack. We've gone to 5 billion, and then 5 billion in 23, and then 5 billion in 54. And that was the furthest we had ever gone. But this, the end of the universe. They went to the end of the universe. And they found the last of the humans, basically, that are going to Utopia somewhere. We're not even sure where. But just the fact that this is so far into the future that all the stars have died. And, there's just no light anymore. That's crazy. So, yeah, that's interesting. And then the fact that, it can be kind of random where we end up. Because it is very random where we end up. some of you have vaguely explained. I won't even say really explained. It was very vague what you guys are saying. But some of you said that where they go is almost somewhat determined by the TARDIS. Like the Doctor can input whatever he wants, but the TARDIS, because the TARDIS is alive, the TARDIS will decide where they need to go, and most likely it's somewhere where they need the Doctor. So, yeah, that's interesting. That is really interesting, and I do like that. But it's not even that. That's not even... Well, okay, it's kind of the reason. But they didn't even go there because they really needed to go there. Excuse me. They went there because of Jack. Because the Doctor and the TARDIS both think that Jack is just... He's wrong. That shouldn't be a thing. The Doctor said, it's like you're a fixed point in time. You are a fact. And no person should ever be a fact. That's interesting. That is really interesting. That because Jack was brought back to life by Rose, and he can't die at all. He can't die. That means that to the Doctor, he is wrong. Because with everything the Doctor knows and grew up on, I guess, and learned as a Time Lord, Jack is wrong. And that extends to the TARDIS. So the TARDIS, when Jack grabbed onto the TARDIS like, get the hell off me! And tried everything it could to get Jack off until they landed at the end of the universe. That's interesting. I wrote down 1869, so we have a bit more of a timeline on Jack. So, after the year 200,000, he basically used his time agent device to hop back to 1869, but he got stuck there. And so he's basically lived since then until we get to Torchwood, basically. That's interesting. And so, okay, because I've been trying to figure this out for a while, and a couple of you guys in the comments know I keep asking, what is Jack's timeline, basically? So, okay, he was born in the 51st century, where he became a time agent and a con man. Then he goes back in time to 1941, where he meets Rose and the Doctor. They have their adventures all the way to 100, basically, where then he goes back in time to 1869, which we know now. Then he goes through all of that, enlists in the armies, which is how he ends up in Lahore in 1909, where his men encounter the fairies, goes all the way up through the modern day to the events of Torchwood, is picked up by the Doctor now, and is now at the end of the universe. Is that right? I need to know if that's right, because Jack's timeline has been so confusing to me. But I think that's it. I wrote down flirt. I like how the Doctor will just not tolerate anything from Jack. Like, all Jack does is just goes and like, hi, I'm Captain Jack Harkness. He's like, stop it. It's like, I like that. That's funny. It's kind of like, there was an episode of Friends, I think, where, Rachel's sister came in, and, she was meeting everyone, and Joe was like, hey, how you doing? And Rachel was just like, stop that. That's basically what just happened on Doctor Who, so, yeah. I wrote down Professor Yana, which we'll talk about a bit later. Yeah. I wrote down Utopia. I'm wondering if Utopia is just Earth, honestly. I don't know. Are we even going to go to Utopia? I don't think that we will, honestly. Now that I think about it, we might not actually go to Utopia because the Master has taken the TARDIS back in time. I assume back in time. You really can't go much forward through time. You're at the end of the universe. So, yeah. So that's interesting. I wrote down can't die because it's interesting that, the doctor said, like, he doesn't like pretty much what Jack has become. The fact that Jack can't die, that shouldn't be a thing. The doctor is so opposed to it. And so is the TARDIS. And it's interesting that the doctor knew, like, immediately when Rose brought Jack back to life. The doctor knew. So that is interesting. Yeah, that is interesting. And it's nice to think back to that because, I don't know, this might be kind of weird to say, but we don't think back to the other series that much. Or at the very least, because we've talked about Rose a ton in this series. But we don't really talk about Series 1 that much in nowadays. So I like that, we're going back and talking about the battle at Satellite 5 and stuff like that. And it's nice to talk about, because it's nice to think about, because when the doctor says, like, well, I figured it out immediately, that's why I left you there. It's like, it's nice to think back to that's what Eccleston was thinking. Well, that's something else that Eccleston was thinking about when he was going through that, or the Ninth Doctor was thinking that, was because, and I say that's one thing he was thinking of, because he was also thinking, I better get out of here, because I gotta fucking regenerate. I am broken after doing this. I gotta regenerate. So, yeah. I wrote down live or die because it seems like Jack... Well, they talked about Jack isn't sure whether he wants to live or die. And that's interesting. We haven't really talked about that. We never really brought that up on, like, Torchwood or something like that. So that is interesting to hear. He really doesn't know if he wants to live or not, basically. So that's interesting. And then pretty much my last 4 points all revolve around the Master. Who is this guy? Like, seriously, who is this dude? Okay, now here's the thing. You guys, you know how I say, you can talk about classic Doctor Who, as long as you're very, very vague. And you guys have been pretty good about that. But I do remember one character, some sort of evil Time Lord. I think you guys have talked about that. Again, you didn't go in depth. I don't really know anything about it. But I think you've mentioned, like, a Time Lord that's been an adversary of the Doctor in classic Doctor Who. Is this guy him? Is this him? Is the Master? Which I kind of thought for a second, like, well, what's his real name? But then I was like, well, wait a second. That's his Time Lord name, like, the Doctor. So he's the Master. Which is interesting. But, yeah. Interesting. So he didn't die in the Time War with the Daleks, but instead turned himself into a human, I guess so he could never be found until the Time War was over, and he put himself at the end of the universe, the perfect place to hide, basically. That's interesting. But, man, this guy is weird. He's a dick, he's evil. What's this dude's deal? And it was interesting that they brought in the regeneration, because I kind of thought, like, wow, this is interesting. So we just get this Time Lord now. So we get to watch, the Doctor go against this old guy. And I was like, and then he gets shot, and I'm like, oh, he's going to regenerate. And it's like, that's crazy. We get to see a regeneration that's not the Doctor. I like that. And man, he had a lot more colors going on in his regeneration than Eccleston did. Eccleston, it was all orange, basically. Like, no, this dude is puking out a rainbow over here, basically. It's crazy. And then basically the last part of that I wrote down is he Harold Saxon? Don't spoil it if it is. Don't spoil if that is Harold Saxon, but because Martha said, like, I recognize that voice. And I'm thinking to myself, oh yeah, what about Harold Saxon? That's a thing this season, right? Who's this Harold Saxon guy? And now now I think we know. We know the origin of Harold Saxon. I think. This is just an educated guess. Don't tell me in the comments. Let the episodes tell me. But yeah, I'm pretty convinced that the Master actually becomes Harold Saxon. So yeah, we've got 2 episodes left of this series of Doctor Who, which is crazy. And yeah, it's definitely interesting. And I'm guessing, normally we have 2-parters at the end of each series of Doctor Who. I didn't realize we were going to have a 3-parter. At least I'm assuming this is going to be a 3-parter. So, yeah, that's basically it. That's all I got. Great episode. Can't wait to see where we go. Remember, guys, this Monday, I'm not going to be reacting to Torchwood. I'm going to be reacting to another episode, but the next episode, basically, of Doctor Who, which will be Series 3, Episode 12. And then next Wednesday, I'm going to be reacting to the Series 3 finale. Yeah, that is basically it. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my Doctor Who reactions, you can click on the playlist, you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, you can support me on Patreon, and follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.